Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. So this episode was mixed. Okay, there's some good, there's some boring. It's all kind of jumbled up. What I will say is that the woman, I think her name is Chloe. I think because that's awesome. Got another Chloe to sit there. Remember, I think her last name is Hendricks. What I will sit there and say is that they're using her a lot better, and they're making use out of her as opposed to GH, which brung her in to take down X person, but since this X person is a ratings juggernaut, then her characters became pointless. At least in this show, they actually have her doing stuff. Um, so it's nice to know that YNR isn't wasting this woman's talent and ultimately her time. And I will sit there and say that about this show. Um, Especially given over GH, which I'm not even gonna get started on that. But let's start with Chance. So he goes back to the crime scene where he pretty much froze. Meanwhile, you got Abby sitting there calling up Ray, finding out, asking questions like, "What's going on? What's going on with my husband? What happened at the stakeout?" And Ray's like, "Yo, listen, I can't really get into that with you. Like, I mean, it's a partner thing. It's kind of a bond thing. We can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't betray his trust." Um, but he does allude to the fact that because she's going through it, and between her son and now him, she needs some answers. And so he does sit there and say that he's not ready yet. But Chance gets back, and Chance is pissed. Okay, he is not happy. He walks in, and he feels like he's being ganged up on. And when Abby goes upstairs to go check on, Dom or whatever, he just, goes off on Ray. Like, what the hell are you doing here? You know, um, you don't know what's going on. And Ray's like, yo, listen, my house is in order. Yours isn't. You need to get your ish together. And he pretty much is like, yo, listen, you need to be honest with her because she can't help you and you're not doing you're not doing good for her. And when he said that, which I'm not gonna lie, he really didn't need to say this. He was like, I'm looking at, a hollow shell of what you used to be. And I kind of was like, those are kind of harsh words. It was that really necessary? I'm pretty sure he could have probably said that a little more delicate than the way he said it. Don't get me wrong. Not get me wrong. I felt like he should have kind of been a little more pissed off at him with the whole stakeout thing. But with that being said, the guy is already agitated. He's already on the defensive. And for you to sit there and say you're a hollow shell or a former shell which you used to be, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That probably was it was unnecessary. Um, but with that being said, he leaves. And Abby comes downstairs, and Abby is like, "Yo, you gotta let me in." I'm worried about him. I don't know how these next couple months is gonna be, and I need you. You know what I'm saying? There, I can't have you dealing with this by yourself or trying to deal with this by yourself because it's not doing us any good. And pretty much like, listen, for your son's sake, you need to let me in. You need to start doing better, and he does. So he tells her about the stakeout, tells about the fact that he froze, to let her in, and yeah, um, that's good. Eh, And I know I said that kind of fast, but for a lot of men, it's very hard to open up and to not so much let someone in, but you want to be the strong one. You want to be the person that's in charge. It's I don't want to sit there and say it's a man thing because that in itself sounds kind of sexist, but yeah, as men, we're used to being alphas. Um, and so he wants to be the protector. He doesn't want to have her deal with his issues on top of the fact that she's dealing with her own stuff with Dom. So yeah, it's a lot. But the fact that he finally did open up. I mean, granted, it took like a lot to get there, but the fact that he did open up is a great thing, and it's a first good step. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know this woman's name until Phyllis came in and was like, "Oh, Lauren." I was like, I wrote down, it was like Jack and someone. And of course, Jack is playing coy to the fact that, Phyllis may want up staying in Milan and working with her daughter and not being in Genoa City. It's like, hey, whatever she does, I'm happy either way. And, Lauren's like, that's kind of a front. And to be honest, I'm like, bro, listen, no offense, but you are way too old to be sitting there playing those games of, nah, it's cool, you do what you want. I mean, I'm going to be happy for you either way. Well, you know damn well that's not how he feels. Um, but she does come in, and Lauren does get to go to her meeting with Chelsea and Chloe, which the meeting was a success. So, yeah. But all Phyllis and Jack did was pretty much kind of just catch up on what she was doing, and she was kind of going back and forth about being in Milan and staying in Genoa City or what she's gonna do. And I'm like, can you just get to the point when you decide on what you're gonna do? Because that would be really great. But she does say that she's gonna stick around, and he says, "Oh, I'm happy." And I'm like, bro. I mean, granted, I get he doesn't want to put pressure on her. He doesn't want to tell her what to do. But at the same time, it's like she was meant to talk about reasons about staying and why she wants to stay, and she did not even sit there and include him in it, like as a friend. Oh well, miss my friends like you and stuff like that. But no, she was like, this is my city and this is where I was and yada yada yada. And I'm like, bro, she didn't mention you like one time. You might want to let your feelings be more known, more public than just. Well, I'm glad you decided that. I'm all for chivalry and being a gentleman, but sometimes you gotta sit there and say what's on your mind. And I will leave it at that. He does get a text when they decide, he decides to drive her home, saying that you need to come to LA. Um, I'm having, I have what you're looking for. I'm having what you missed or whatever. So I'm kind of just like, yo, if you get a text from a random number saying that you need to come to LA because I got what you need or something like that, what you do is you block them. You say, yo, listen, I don't know who you are. You don't know me. And if you don't give me your name or something like that, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I don't know how much money this guy has, but I mean, holding people for ransom for money and stuff like that is still a thing. Okay? You're just gonna just randomly go to LA because some number that you don't even know told you to go? Because that makes sense? Like, really? It would be kind of interesting to see him in Bold and the Beautiful since, it's one universe, so. Still remember the good old days when I first used to start watching soaps. One Life to Live, Port Charles, All My Children, General Hospital. Hold on, let me try it again. Port Charles, All My Children, One Life to Live, and General Hospital. I had to sit there and say in that order because that's how I remember it used to go. But my point is, they was all in one universe, and I always find that funny because people talk about the Marvel movies and how everything is connected, and I was like, bro, they're not the first people to be snitted doing that whole world building thing. Just saying. Side note, how did Jack and Phyllis want to breaking up? Or like, what happened with their relationship? Because they obviously they were in a relationship, and he still has feelings for her. And now that Phyllis isn't with Nick for reasons that I don't know, like, is he gonna shoot a shot? Is he gonna just be playing coy. I feel like that's something that you do when you're younger. But when you start to get to a certain age, it's like you don't got time for games like that. You know, not just because you're in the you know midpoint of your life, but just in general. I mean, you're not promised tomorrow. Like, I want to get on that. Like, shoot your shot, or like shoot your shot. Screw that. Oh, and in the end, Ray has a conversation with Chelsea. Because Chelsea comes over after. Ray comes over after. Chelsea and Chloe is that they're kind of celebrating their big win, and Ray's talking about how happy he is, and of course, it goes back to that flashback of her having dreams about Ray because, well, he's Ray, and there's really nothing else to say about that. But I don't know. I guess they used to actually date or something. I'm not really too sure. But they're not there talking and laughing and stuff like that, and Chloe sees that, and after the whole thing with Adam apparently telling Chelsea that he doesn't want to be with her. They're on to something new. So wait, no, actually they're not on anything new. What am I sitting there saying? Isn't Ray and Sharon like together? I don't know if they're married, but I know they're dating now. I also find it kind of interesting that the actress that plays Sharon, I think her real life name is Sharon. Hmm. I don't know. So I don't think this episode was bad. I really don't. I was sitting there reading some of the comments or whatever, like, another boring episode. And like, no, this episode was actually kind of decent. It wasn't super amazing, but it was actually kind of decent. I can already see that. Well, maybe it's just my take on it because stuff didn't really happen. But I feel like some of the ratings are like how you have you watch General Hospital is mostly like Sunny and his crew, the Corinthos or whatever. Like they usually like the ratings like Juggernaut or whatever. Like they usually bring in the ratings. And I'm sitting there wondering is that the same thing with like um Victor and Ashlyn and Victoria, are they like that version? Like, are they like the ratings, like Juggernaut as far as like bringing in the ratings? I don't know. I'm still new to this show, so it's interesting. Actually, to tell you the truth, in a lot of ways, I've been looking forward to this show the most, just because it's something new, and I'm still learning some of the characters' names and well, like learning the pace of the show. So it's it's exciting in that way of just going into a new show, um, as opposed to General Hospital, which I kind of know in and out. I'm starting to know more in and out with days. So this and Bold and the Beautiful is still relatively new for me. Let me just double check my notes. Anyway, I think that's actually about it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I also want to sit there and thank everyone. Um, I want to thank everyone for just giving me updates and kind of filling me in on some of these characters like history and stuff like that. I know I was asking about what happened to Nick's daughter, and people filled me in, and that's it's really nice. And I just want to sit there and say thank you. It also really helps me out just kind of learning more of the characters and by knowing some stuff about their past. So I just really want to thank everyone for doing that. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.